Hello everybody, it's Mike Levin, and today I'm going to talk about the Facebook acquisition of Oculus Rift. So Facebook's getting a lot of heat today for acquiring something that was a Kickstarter startup where all these people who invested feel a lot of ownership. And I'm going to make the argument right now that they're the vocal minority and that Oculus Rift probably made a good decision so long as Facebook handles it right. Why? Because on the Earth, there's a game being played every day where the fixed number of people on the Earth, and people rarely think about it this way, but on the Earth, there's a fixed number of people. Sure, that number grows every day as the population grows, but for the most part, there is a certain amount of people, and there is a battle for their eyeballs by media. And on any given day, the attention spent by humans on media constitutes a zero-sum game. This is a bit of game theory, but really when you have a finite number of resources that are divvied out between winners and losers, you can draw this as a pie chart. Now, pie charts are one of the worst ways to visualize how data gets distributed because it implies a fixed amount of things to be divvied out, like slices of a pie. But in this case, it actually applies fairly well because you've got things like TV, which is old school media, everything that's online, and other things. Maybe this represents print. And because media is generally consumed sequentially, there's exceptions. People who are driving in their car listening to the radio, you can do radio plus one more thing fairly well, and people in front of their TVs with their phones and their tablets are consuming more than one media channel at a time. But for the most part, you're switching your attention between one or the other. And it's in this light of competing for that fixed amount of human attention to go around every day that in the very early days, Google bought YouTube. And we see how good of a decision it is these days, because in this battle for the attention, media splits up into different channels. And channels is somewhat of an ambiguous concept, but you have to think of channels as things like television versus websites versus anything else that human eyeballs can fix on and consume media, be slipped advertisements. And in that light, it makes a lot more sense why Facebook acquired Instagram. People were just spending time there, and it did not require going through Facebook. Unlike Zanga, where Facebook already has those people. And WhatsApp is a great example. It's got to be viewed as a separate channel because it's not a website. Doesn't fit really cleanly in the online category. So one of these pie slices might in fact be labeled chat. And when 3D worlds finally hit, they are unlike many of the media channels that have come before, as we've seen from massive multi-user online games like World of Warcraft, Second Life. They are totally immersive, totally addictive. They're going to have a huge amount of time spent and they are, without a doubt, a new and important channel. So like when Google bought YouTube, who would have imagined the amount of viewership that it receives these days and the amount of video that's being uploaded all the time? A likewise defensive position was in play when Facebook acquired Instagram, because can you imagine the main picture upload site of the planet being a brand new player, being totally shut out of that? You remember when WebShots was replaced by Flickr, and then Flickr by Instagram. It can turn in a heartbeat, and the details of whether it's going to be long-term successful or not is in great part, by how much distribution it gets. So there are unanswered questions in Facebook's acquisition of Oculus Rift, like software and actual hardware distribution. But if they didn't get it now, they might not be able to get it at any price in the future, like the status that Twitter has become. Who's going to buy Twitter? How many billions of dollars will that be? Again, that's why Facebook acquired WhatsApp for the equivalent of $20 billion. If they didn't do it now, imagine being shut completely out of the channel that is chat. Virtual reality has the potential to dwarf all these other channels once it really matures because of its immersive, addictive, time-consuming characteristics as a brand new channel. So, 2 billion versus 20 billion? Yep, good decision. Facebook's acquisition of Oculus Rift, so long as they can mature it properly as a channel. They have to be good stewards of this new technology, and as long as they are good stewards of this technology, then it was a good decision. Thank you. Oh, and subscribe.